Yeah, I can just start Mega Knights late in the back, like late game. I feel like I'm gonna do this as like a prediction to his wall breakers. No, not quite. Oh! Oh! Let's go! What is up, guys? Welcome back to Coltown. Sorry, I know it's been like a week and a half or whatever since I last uploaded. I'm back to taking college courses, and I had to get used to it. It's the first time in like 2 or 3 years that I've been back to college. But we got through the like first round of like assignments and tests, and I am making A's in all my classes, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, I hadn't played Clash and recorded for a little bit there, but I'm gonna try to get back to the daily upload, or at least like bi-daily. And yeah, so today we will be playing the Mega Knight bait deck. I mean, so this deck is both like super free-to-play friendly and like super not, I guess. It has majority commons. I will say it's not bad to have like 1 or 2 levels underneath on Miner or Inferno Dragon. They're as far as legendaries go, like them and like Log, I would say you can have under-leveled ones and still get most of the use out of them. So in Miner, like, yeah, it's not as good in like a Miner control deck, but in this deck, the Miner's not even, it is for damage, but a lot of the times you're just using it to tank for the bait stuff. So that can be under-leveled and still do its job. Inferno Dragon, I mean, like, I guess like everything matters. It gets a little bit tankier and stuff, but it basically, once it locks onto a tank, if you're defending it correctly, it's going to kill it. So maybe it kills it 1 second slower, but even that would require it to be like 2 levels under or something. I don't know. Still good. Mega Knight, however, kind of needs to be leveled. It matters a lot more with Mega Knight. But overall, Mega Knight's not used as much, and it's fun to use, so that means then let's hop right into it. I had some examples of battles, but let's just hop in. I just want to play live battles, honestly, and I know most of you guys prefer live battles. Maybe after I'll show a replay or two. I kind of... you should play Spear Gobs here, because they get 1 more Spear Gob hit if they're not defended. So in this situation, it wouldn't have mattered. And I almost wanted to tank the Ice Spirit, but... Okay, this is awkward hand, an awkward hand. And then we'll drop the Goblin Gang behind now. Ooh, that was perfect. Okay, so he overcommitted on that Miner. I'm actually going to Mega Knight in the back. Usually you don't do this, but he overcommitted really hard and then still had to defend the Goblin Gang, so we're significantly up in Elixir right here. And so it's like Miner cycle. And so we're going to use Skeleton Barrel to attack this. I don't need to do anything. I'll just let that go. Honestly, this is probably going to be a really hard matchup, but we'll see what we can do. I had to play that low because that Valk is surviving with 1 HP. I mean, if I had realized what deck it was, maybe the better play would have just been to build a push without Mega Knight, since Inferno Tower got a lot of value there, and Valk is also pretty good against it, but we didn't know, so... Now we'll drop Inferno Drag. Alright, that's a Miner that we killed pretty easily there. I'm going to attack other lane now. He had to log the barrel, so I attacked that with Spear Gobs. He wasn't able to finish off the Spear Gobs, so that was pretty nice. Now that it's double Elixir, I'll drop a Mega Knight in the back. I was hoping he would toss out a random Miner at the exact same time, but he did not. We'll go Skeleton Barrel, and it won't get pulled. And then we'll go Bats in the middle. I'm definitely not defending that. Those are bad Spear Gobs. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I should have played them other lane, if anything. Alright, we're gonna ignore that on the other side and just drop another Mega Knight. I could have attacked better. I don't even need to zap that. We connected Mega Knight there. He didn't defend well enough. I need to pull this back in case this isn't taken. It does. Hey, that's a good win. That's a hard matchup. Like, he, I think he probably should have defensive poisoned more. But that last push, he ended up dropping like Valk and Log on the left side because he got scared. But definitely the thing that I felt I had the most success in that matchup doing was definitely so like he has fast cycle, he has E-Wiz, he has Valk, lots of splash, he has really good Mega Knight counters. If anything, he should have like used his E-Wiz to attack the skeleton barrel maybe, and then just let E-Wiz alone defend it. But I kind of pressured well where Miner was always going to be tanking. But yeah, you know he's going to save Log for skeleton barrel, so basically stack like a Goblin Gang or a Spear. I like Spear Gobs, unless you see his Valk out, and then so like Mega Knight Goblin Gang is like in a really good push if Valk's out of cycle, and he has to log something else, or just Spear Gobs are good. I did that several times. I spaced stuff out in the way that he couldn't hit and get too much value. He should have defensive poisoned more. He threw out miners at bad times. Like, you throw out miners at weird times with miner cycles sometimes, but he was like throwing them out. He was like throwing them out when I was up in Elixir already, which you can do sometimes, but you have to make sure your defense is like perfect. There was one matchup. I lost this and then actually won it again later. They were both close, so it's pretty difficult. Inferno Towers are hard to get through, honestly. And this is like the hardest matchup ever, mainly because Ram Rider will take out all the swarms, but I could have played it better. That's difficult. I wanted to show like a Golem. I know I played a Golem in here somewhere. I mean, this guy wasn't the best Golem player ever. Yeah, so I will show these quickly. There was another one before. His deck was super weird, but there was a concept I remember that I could put in the video. So we'll do Golem. People always ask about Golem. Especially with this type of deck where it's kind of weird. So I drop a low Inferno Drag to take care of that. And then I was getting near 10 and I didn't want to have to split Goblin Gang in the back, so I went ahead and threw Skeleton Barrel down in front of this. I think that was fine. And then here I should just go low Goblin Gang probably. And then he decides to tank the Skeleton Barrel for some reason. His hand was awkward. He should have NATO'd it though. That's way too much damage to take. Oh yeah, I like that zap, honestly. I could kill I was at 10 elixir, I could kill it and it got me a little bit of extra damage. And so of course you want to pressure here and throw out a miner. So the thing there was like, even if he caught the miner, the Spear Gobs, I could have timed it better because the miner needs to tank for the tower. And then the Spear Gobs would have finished the tower and attacked the pump. That's why I went on the other side, so like they would kill it and then attack the pump. But I messed up a little bit, but he didn't catch it. So usually you would Mega Knight other lane here. You should almost always pressure opposite lane really hard with your Mega Knight because Mega Knight's not like a P.E.K.K.A. It doesn't defend tanks very well. But so I end up going in for like a protection of the Inferno Drag and I cycle Goblin Gang in the back, and that works out fairly well. The thing is, you need to be aware is that he's going to try to stack troops. So I'm not dropping anything else or like my Mega Knight on that. I'm going to wait until I can hit other stuff. And then now I drop Mega Knight. I actually kind of was okay with Baby Dragon locking on there too because it was less DPS. And I eventually kill that and then have a little bit of a counter push that he has to waste another troop on. He can't just set up his tank immediately. Then I decide to keep on pressuring so that he has to waste more elixir on defense and he can't set up another attack. And I get quite a bit of damage. And then here, you don't want to overcommit to defending this, so I'm going to drop a really low Goblin Gang, try to have it still be alive and like pressuring. So like if you were to drop a Golem, like they would get some damage on it, and then I continue pressuring. I know he's going to try to drop a Golem at the bridge. I just want to make sure that tower is finished, so I toss out Spear Gobs. I go Inferno Drag really low, because you know he's going to try to NATO or Lightning. And instead of just dropping Mega Knight, because that would have been massive. So that's another thing. So I think a lot of people right there, they would have gotten Inferno Dragon Mega Knight. He lightnings, I lose my tower. like no doubt. Mega Knight's not gonna finish off the lumberjack there. I'm spacing crap out. I'm trying to either make him tornado like one unit, or lightning and only hit one unit. So if he lightning my Inferno Drag there, he's out of elixir. I'm gonna stack everything. But if I had went Inferno Drag and then Mega Knight right here, I lose tower 100%. There's no chance. He could NATO, he could lightning. No matter what he does, I'm losing tower. So The defense was well spaced out here, and I'm just trying to buy myself time. And then finally, once that Baby Dragon locks on, I can also do that. And then now I'm just gonna continue pulling things up top. And as you can see, I made sure the bats died first, and then I surrounded one Mega Minion with bats, and a really nice defense there with your swarm cards. So that's kind of how, like, sometimes you have to get creative with your defenses with this deck. And even though usually it's very difficult to defend single lane against Golem, I was able to do it there because of spacing it out, and I thought there was a good chance he had lightning, so I didn't give lightning value. So yeah, you kind of only use Mega Knight when you like on the Golemites, and like if he has like 2 ground units down, you don't really want to drop it straight on Golem because it's just gonna get shredded by the support. You're better off relying on the bait defenses there. And okay, so like this deck is super weird. I feel like this is an easy matchup, so I'm not gonna show that. This deck is super weird, incredibly weird. Wouldn't recommend. But the 3 must defenses were something I thought I could point out as a tip with this deck and like decks in general. I'll just skip to the part that I remember playing it. I think I had played these matches while I was in between classes at college, actually. Not in class, of course. I do not pull my phone out while I'm in class. Gotta learn. So he drops 3M. And so something you can do against the 1M is put a Skeleton Barrel into it, and then Mega Knight the 2M. I did not know at this point he had a Ram Rider, and I was actually left in a really bad defensive position because, like I said, this deck is kind of weak to Ram Rider because she can just splash all the troops down. But he did underdefend my Mega Knight as a result. And right here, instead of minoring on the Mega Knight side, I tried to minor in front of all the spear gobs and the bats, and it would have worked perfectly. But he ended up having a bar barrel. I went with a really aggressive skeleton barrel at the bridge. If he knew the perfect princess timing, he could actually have countered with that. But also, like I said, I knew he was low, so actually, I don't know if that zap was worth. It was a really good play. I went that because I figured he would play a troop at the last second since he didn't have a spell on hand. He ends up throwing a tricky barrel, which he shouldn't have. It should have been on the middle, and I would have taken like 1 stab. This miner may be a little bit over aggressive. So, but here's the thing: is like mixing up your defenses so you don't get predicted. Especially when you have a bunch of bait cards, you don't want to get predicted. So right here, okay. So big thing. I know he has Ram Rider, and Mega Knight very good against Ram Rider. Bait cards very bad against Ram Rider. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna want to actually Mega Knight the Ram Rider side, and also he's expecting me to Mega Knight the 2M side, so he's gonna go all in or predict my bait cards on the left side. So it's mixing up your defenses so that you're not predictable. Especially, you really need to do that when you play bait decks. Bait decks specifically, this is important. And as you can see, he predicts a bar barrel on my Mega Knight, so in order to have a big counter push, because I had the Skeleton Barrel already, because I'm also protecting the Skeleton Barrel, I go Mega Knight, because it's also good against Ram Rider. I purposely let one of the 2 must lock on, and then I just Goblin Gang it, and then I defend it while taking only half the tower, because also my right side tower was healthy. This is another decision, another reason that goes into that decision. My right side tower was full HP. While my left one was like half HP, so I'm going to defend it harder. And also, it made a lot of sense on a lot of different reasons. And I don't know if while I was playing this game, that all that thought process is like going on in my head. Yeah, to a certain degree it is, but a lot of it's just like experience. So like, if you have someone explain that thought process to you, and this is me trying to be educational, of course. As a player, you'll start to recognize those situations more. And like I said, it doesn't have to be this deck. It's pretty, like any bait deck, it's kind of a common theme, I would say, that's more useful. But mixing up your defenses is something you do in all games. And we'll play 1 or 2 more here. But I thought that was cool. Like, his deck is stupid. Like, it's like his deck is weird, but just in general. And his prediction wasn't necessarily a bad one. It's just something that can give you an advantage in games, and something you should try to realize. And like I said, that much thought wasn't going into it when I was playing the game, but it was something I thought about afterwards that could be a really helpful tip for you guys. So, okay, so far this is like wall breakers, minor maybe. Okay, it is. This Inferno Drag will be really good. Hopefully, he doesn't even get a hit. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that was so good. That's such a good Inferno Drag. I knew that Miner was taking the first shot, so. That could have been better. He's low on elixir. I think I'm gonna skeleton barrel this. I'm not gonna let it die though. I'm gonna end up goblin ganging. Ooh, that was perfect. It didn't shoot any. It didn't shoot any. That's all there is to it. I didn't need to zap that. The barrel would have actually the death damage would have killed. My bad. So right here, we probably Inferno Drag the Miner. I don't want to give him a free snowball in tower. Slows tower, gets Miner another shot, and yeah, so just Inferno Drag me. 2 miners. Yep. Yep, look, he actually poisoned instead. Yeah. I thought he would snowball, but he went for prediction poison. I'm not gonna go anything else. I'm gonna zap the goblins. Yep, it gives me a nice little tower chip there. If he goes Musk at the bridge, we'll probably Mega Knight bridge actually. I'm gonna Mega Knight for sure. Yeah, that's good. We'll zap if he goes goblins to protect. I don't need to zap because death damage maybe. I don't know if I want to go same lane because it's like poison value, but this is fine. Yeah, now it's starting to get a little bit awkward to go same lane, but I kind of have to at this point. That mortar's gonna be a little bit annoying, but ooh, that's such a good Mega Knight. He thought I was gonna say Mega Knight for Miner. Oh, that's not a good snowball either. Ooh, I need this down. Maybe I should have gone zap instead. But he doesn't have snowball in hand. Oh, maybe this knocks it back and the barrel doesn't fully die. The spear gobs, the spear gobs, the spear gobs. Okay. I was scared he was gonna offensive mortar, so I was waiting before I played anything there. Alright, now we just go low Mega Knight here. I'm actually gonna make sure that this skeleton barrel maybe kills bats and then also tanks for the Inferno Drag. He won't expect my Miner here, hopefully. Oh, he didn't. He went for a back prediction. This is good. We'll drop this and then wait and then drop Mega Knight. Perfect. We'll just go ahead and get rid of those bats. I'll go over here now to go in a different spot. He doesn't have enough damage to like finish tower or anything, so I'm not worried about that. I'm just gonna zap to get my Miner more damage and cycle to another Miner. Yeah, like there was no reason to defend that Miner there because in no world does it take tower. He needs 500, and like I would defend if my tower's 700 because then poison could kill, but he just wasted elixir that I didn't have to defend there, so I just commit more to offense. What are we at? 18 minutes? I'll do one more. Win or lose, we'll do one more. That may not kill on the left side. Nope, just did. Spear Gob split is so good against wall breakers right there. Hey, one Spear Gob shot on tower. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I did not get those down in time. That was bad. Alright. Forcing one lane is probably okay for me. I can just start Mega Knights late in the back, like late game. I feel like I'm gonna do this as like a prediction to his wall breakers. No, not quite. Oh! Oh! Let's go! That was insane! My Mega Knight was trash, but that was insane! Okay, so maybe this is dumb, but I'm gonna go with like offensive on that, and then I'll zap any like bait units. Yeah, there we go. This is good to kill the. This is gonna be a decent amount of minor chip. That's unfortunate. I can't zap the skellies, but I had to do what I did. Trying to get rid of these skellies with Spirit Gods. Probably this was over aggressive. I shouldn't have. I got a little bit of chip, but not worth. Not worth. So I hope he goes. I'm just gonna Mega Knight if he wall breakers. Oh yeah, that's such value. We go aggressive here and ignore the miner. He actually put the miner where it gets targeted by both towers too. I don't think he can defend. He gave me so much Mega Knight value. Man, it's a common theme. It's a common theme at this trophy range. Of course, I'm lower right now because I'm just not pushing up. I did push up a little bit, but while I was at college, like I said. But it's a common theme at this range for people to miner when they shouldn't. They constantly overcommit because it's 3 elixir. Just toss it out. And sometimes it can be okay. Ooh, that was a nice prediction by him, but I waited. Partially because I was talking. So maybe it should have hit. I'm sorry, bro. If I wasn't making a YouTube video, maybe your prediction would have worked. Honestly, like, I don't know. There's a good chance it would have worked. I respect the prediction. I think that was a good prediction. I'm actually like apologizing to him because that maybe should have worked. Like, I maybe would have played Goblin Gang too early. Wow, guys, for the first time ever, you guys helped me win a match. Because I was talking to you, I won the match. Or, I was probably winning anyway, but because of you, I didn't get predicted. Because I was late to respond, because I was trying to explain something. But yeah, I would say our common theme at this range, and maybe a common mistake for you guys, is you don't want to toss out miners when there's a strong chance that your opponent's going to create a counter push off of your push. So, and a big part of that, like, so in that situation, a big part of it is knowing he has a Mega Knight. Yeah, he may Mega Knight my miner, and in that case, maybe going Wall Breakers and Magic Archer is good, but why risk it? Like, just let either just miner, either just miner with the Magic Archer, or yeah, no, just miner with the Magic Archer. That because it's a massive Mega Knight value to put the Wall Breakers and the Magic Archer there. So like, but then that miner is wasted, and I got Mega Knight value because it's Wall Breakers and it's a Magic Archer. So that's 6 for 7. So and I have a 1 HP Mega Knight. I don't know if I would say that necessarily because he played a Magic Archer on defense, but you get what I'm getting at. And then he wastes 3 elixir that I don't have to defend, and he also misclicked it to where I got targeted by both towers. But that's not even important. But my point is like this guy is 6,200 trophies with a fully maxed deck that people at 7,400 are using. Like that's a deck that the difference in skill takes this deck, and this is any deck, but just as an example, the difference in skill is 1,200 trophies. So the difference between a 7,400 player playing this deck, and there are 7,400 players playing this deck, and this guy is stuff like that. And there's a lot of different reasons, knowing different matchups, and knowing like when to pressure, and there's so many things that go into making a good player good. But I would say that's like one of them is like learning cycle in that case, knowing I had Mega Knight and not taking the risky play. So a lot of the times these guys just go Mega Knight, or they just go Wall Breakers miner with every push, and that can be a potent push, and his push could be good. It just depends on what your opponent's deck is, and he knows I have Mega Knight, he knows my deck, and Mega Knight's in cycle. It's not that hard to keep track of the important cards in the deck. If you're bad at keeping track of cycle, I would say focus on one card. What is the one card that you want to keep track of? I would argue it's definitely Mega Knight with my deck. Mega Knight and maybe Zap. You want to keep track of whether I have Zap and Cycle for your bats and your skellies, and you want to keep track of Mega Knight. They have to play 4 cards So if I play Mega Knight, I then have to play Spear Gob, Skeleton Barrel, Bat Zap before I'm back to Mega Knight. And it's not that hard to keep track of it. Like, you don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, eventually it becomes a, I mean, you can, but eventually it becomes kind of a skill that you get naturally. So when someone's played 3 or 4 cards, you kind of just sense that it could be coming up. But if you don't know how to do it, or you don't sense it, then I would make an effort to keep track of it manually, and then eventually it will become a sense. Or maybe you're smart enough that you can do it manually and still keep track of the game. It just depends on the person. And yeah, stuff like that is a big deal. So maybe I'm off on a tangent here and I'm just talking, but I had fun, and I will hopefully be back either tomorrow or the next day, and I will see you guys in the next video. And let me know if you like this kind of, I'm going more in depth, right? Because that's like, I thought about, before I made a YouTube video, I was thinking like, why people watch me, and partially I need to incorporate more like humor. I try to do it. It just depends on how I'm feeling sometimes. It's weird when you're sitting here talking to a camera, right? Trying to think of like your identity. I was thinking of like my identity as a content creator, and you guys don't necessarily need to hear this, but I'm just sharing it for those who care. Most people click off the video at this point, so. But yeah, and I want to try to throwing out gameplays is, so if I'm thinking at this like, oh, so of course I'm not playing CRL currently because I'm doing college. And if I want to be honest, it's when you do something. So I've been doing it for 3 years. I'm one of the oldest CRL pros, which I don't really care. I don't think age matters too much in Clash Royale. Like, lots of 16-year-olds are good, and I think that's mainly because it's mobile, and they have access to that as versus a PC. But it's not like a heavily micro-intensive game. So like, I mean, like for instance, like Tally was a good pro like a year ago, and he was like 30 something and had kids and a wife. So that's not important. But I've been playing it for 3 years, for like 6 hours every day. So when you do that for a while, you get kind of burnt out, and this little break was kind of nice. I was also just doing schoolwork. But it gets difficult to play 6 hours a day, so I'm not doing CRL for that reason. I still love the game and play it a lot. And I always am like playing different games too, now that I'm not using as much time. But I'm gonna keep trying to do content. I'm gonna keep doing school. I'm gonna balance both, and I'm gonna make sure I can provide content that you guys want. So kind of tell me like what kind of content you think. My idea at least is like, if you're gonna watch gameplay, it's good to watch me because I am a former CRL pro. There are better 1v1 players, and I'm trying to improve. Of course, it's hard to improve when I'm not spending as much time. I mean, when I was in CRL, actually, the majority of my time went to 2v2, and I was one of the best 2v2 players in the world. But in terms of content, you can't really make 2v2 content. There's no like competitive mode that you guys would be interested in watching, and I understand that. But in terms of content, like the value, I think, is helping you guys improve and like actually explaining it. So lots of I would say explaining it and listening and implementing into your own gameplay is a faster way to improve than just watching players and guessing why they do things they do. And it gets hard when you're doing like a live gameplay of like the top CRL 1v1 player like Morden for something. I'm not saying he does a bad job of this, but in general when they're having to think and just play live battles, you don't get as much. So I try to go back a little bit in replays, or a little bit even in games versus like not as good players, and kind of explaining thought processes and common like themes and stuff that you guys can learn from, so that you don't have to come to the conclusion on your own. Of course you can improve that way, but and I'm gonna try to push up on ladder, so I'm still if I can push up high with P.E.K.K.A and be like one of the best P.E.K.K.A players, and you guys can learn from that. But in terms of like general gameplay, I'm trying to speak and analyze so you guys get that information, as opposed, so it's like what I offer as a content creator. I also want to do more fun stuff with like editing, like the guess the trophies. I need to get back to that series, and have CW on since you won last time. CWA. But yeah, maybe most people won't be interested in this, but yeah, let me know. I think I kind of have a clue as to like what kind of content I should create mainly. besides just the ones that get the most views, of course. And yeah, so that was kind of my thought. Would you guys like me just to straight play live battles, or like do a little bit more of what I did this video? So yeah. All right, thank you guys for watching. Sorry for rambling so long, if you have listened to this point, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.